Well, you'll be a lot happier, I think, when Manchester United sign Martinez, Lisandro Martinez from Ajax, 5'9", 175 centimetres. I think we've worked out now something. We were talking about this a lot yesterday. He's going to play in central midfield, surely, Crook.
You can play at left back as well, and we'll talk about that in a moment when it comes to a potential replacement at Ajax. But some breaking news: Manchester United have now agreed a £46 million fee with Ajax for Lisandro Martinez. He's been kept away from Ajax training this morning, according to sources in Holland, to tie up this move to Old Trafford, and will join United this weekend on their pre-season tour of Australia. I think this is a big deal for Eric Ten Hag. We know that he was presented with Pau Torres, the Villarreal defender, as a possible left-sided option, but he said, no, I want Martinez. 2 bids rejected from Arsenal. They took a back seat when Martinez made it pretty clear that he only wanted to go to United to link up with Ten Hag. And I think symbolically, this is quite a big transfer for Manchester United.
Who are they going to replace him with then? Rangers' Calvin Bassey?
Could well be. News reaching me this morning that Ajax very interested in Calvin Bassey. Did so well when I was alongside Jim White at the Europa League final in Seville. Was probably Rangers' man of the match that night. That penalty shootout defeat against Frankfurt. I know Rangers are keen to keep him for at least one more year, but you have to believe the lure of playing in the Champions League and playing for an iconic club like Ajax might be too much for him to turn down. The fee, I'm being told, is in the region of between 15 and 20 million pounds with add-ons. I know there's Premier League interest as well, strong interest from Brighton earlier in the window. That seems to have gone quiet. It wouldn't surprise me if Calvin Bassey was to replace Martinez at Ajax. He offers that versatility. He can play as a left back. He can play as a left-sided centre-half in the 3. I think it'd be a good move for them and a good move for him.
Simon, is that quite concerning as an owner? When you do so well, you end up getting to a massive showpiece final, didn't quite win it, but obviously managed to display your wares on the international stage, that some of your players then end up getting picked off?
Is it concerning or is it a reality? It's a reality of success, and it depends on where you are in the evolution of your football club and what contractual position you have with these players. If you do your due diligence properly and you manage your business the way that you should through the people that you deploy that authority to, whether it's sporting directors and managers themselves, then you put yourself in at least a position where if that sort of reverse opportunity comes, i.e. the success of your football club then involves your players being picked off by others, at least you're in a position where you can command and demand an economic return that's commensurate with the value of the players that you would like to retain. David Sullivan's doing this with Declan Rice by suggesting that no one pays anything less than 150 million quid for him, which means the transfer doesn't happen, or it does happen on the basis of how West Ham want it to be. It's like the discussion earlier on about Chelsea and their particular conveyor belt of young players, and some of them not finding themselves in the team and then going on to be superstars elsewhere. It's just one of the peculiarities and perversities of the industry. It's just the challenge that you have to overcome. You get a manager in there, that manager's desperate for the job, he gets 5 minutes worth of success, like, say, Marco Silva at Watford, and the reward for Watford is he wants to go to Everton. It's what happens.
Talking of Chelsea, what's the latest on their quest to try and fulfil a back 5?
Well, yeah, they're certainly moving forward on that front, Sam. It could almost be an entirely new-look Chelsea defence by the time the Premier League season gets underway, which is not too far from happening now, of course, with the early start due to the World Cup. Koulibaly pretty much signed and sealed. That should be announced very imminently. Nathan Ake progressing well as well in terms of return to Stamford Bridge. And we know they want Kimpembe from Paris Saint-Germain as well. I think the two clubs at the moment are a fair distance apart in terms of a transfer fee, but Chelsea stepping up their interest in him probably closes the door on Jules Koundé, who has been a long-term target. I think he might well end up at Barcelona, as you mentioned, going into the advert break. They've confirmed that Dembele has signed a new contract. Rafinha in there as well. So Barcelona doing some big business this summer. But where does it leave Levi Colwill, a player who did so well on loan at Huddersfield last season? Someone I know John Terry is a massive admirer of. There's been comparisons between Colwill and the former Chelsea captain, who I think would like to see him be given an opportunity in the first team. But it's hard to see where that will come. I think he's a bit frustrated with Chelsea trying to sign all these centre-backs. And it wouldn't surprise me now if he was to go out. Whether it would be a loan deal or a permanent transfer, I think is open to conjecture, but lots of Premier League interest in him from the likes of Leicester, Fulham, Southampton, and he is a Southampton lad. He was born there as a kid, so maybe that might just give them the edge should he decide to leave Stamford Bridge, as appears likely.
Okay, and finally, Liam Delap is going to leave Manchester City. He's going on loan. Where?
Yeah, not sure where. Probably the Championship would be my guess, possibly linking up with Vincent Kompany At Burnley, obvious connection there. Again, I know Southampton have him on their list of targets. They're looking for a striker to replace Armando Broja, who did reasonably well on loan from Chelsea last season, but I think they're looking for a permanent signing. At the moment, Manchester City only willing to let Delap go out on loan, 19 years of age. I think he'd be a good signing for a club at the top end of the Championship. But again, a young player that at the moment Pep Guardiola, like with Colwill at Chelsea, can't guarantee minutes in the first team.
Okay, those of you watching on YouTube or Facebook will see that Alex Crook is outside today. Where do you think he is, Simon? What's your bet? Is that golf club?
McDonald's.
McDonald's, okay. Where actually are you?
I'm in my garden, Sam. I do have a tea time booked for this afternoon, but my playing partner has got a nasty mosquito bite, so that looks to have hit the
nasty mosquito bite. That's the excuse for not playing.
Where is this mosquito bite?
Yeah, that's a good question. Where is the mosquito bite?
On his knee, and he says it's swollen up quite badly. I think he just doesn't want to take me on. I'm in good form at the moment.
Is that knee? Yeah, I think it might be.
Maybe Alex bit him and he's describing Alex as a sort of pseudo-mosquito.
Yeah, certainly needs to be swatted aside, which we'll do now. Goodbye, Alex Crook. Thank you very much.